As we remove the filters that have clouded so much of American history, we're able to uncover the stories that we should have known about. The Rest of History exhibit brings some new figures and viewpoints to light through the talents of 5 creative artists who regularly incorporate history into their craft.
They're beautiful. The subject matter is tough.
The work of Fabiola Jean-Louis, a Haitian-born artist, is the first to greet you as you enter the exhibit. What you will see are photos of paper sculptures that brilliantly mimic the clothing worn by women of nobility in the 15th through 19th centuries. I asked co-curator Heather Hakimzadeh to describe why the artist chose to create such a beautiful yet thought-provoking work of art.
She was really interested in the idea that many Black women don't have a recorded history. And part of that is, at least historically in the United States, during the slavery era, Black people weren't educated. They weren't given the ability to create a written history. Most histories were oral. And so she wanted to address that and wanted to do it in a very positive and beautiful and loving way. And so she decided, well, what if Black women had their rightful place in 16th, 17th nobility? And what would that look like? And so she created the costumes from paper. And part of that is the idea that paper is also the currency on which their bodies were traded historically. And so she wanted to bring that back into the images.
She goes on to describe one of the more powerful images on display.
Okay, we're looking at Madame Beauvoir's painting, and it is a Black woman with her back to the camera. She's wearing a tan dress, and on the back of the dress there is embroidery, and it matches the scarring of a man who was in a painting in front of her. He had been a slave and he had been whipped, and it left terrible scarring on his back. And so she is wearing a dress that kind of mimics that scarring. So you're drawn into the painting from the beauty and the optimism, and yet the past is acknowledged and is present.
Also on display is the work of Gina Adams, a Native American artist who uses antique quilts as the backdrop for showcasing the numerous treaties that the government has made with various tribes, all of which have been broken. Midway through the exhibit, a compelling video by Mary Reed Kelly that details the emotional toll taken on a World War I nurse witnessing trauma and tragedy over and over again.
While sleeping with the fishes, he looked so statuesque. The strong and silent tide also made their beauty rest.
There are collages made from hand-cut archival prints of women who impacted the culture and politics of their day, designed by artist Andrea Geyer. Meanwhile, artist Charles Edward Williams showcases other unsung heroes, including the African American Union soldiers who served during the Civil War, and the civil rights activists known as the Freedom Riders, who risked their lives protesting segregated bus terminals. And Williams' work is done on mylar.
You know, the stuff that mylar balloons are made out of. He told me he had to paint with a paintbrush in one hand and a hairdryer in the other. He wanted this unclear image, just like we have unclear images of them in history. We have unclear ideas of who they are and what they did in history, which I thought was brilliant.
The Rest of History exhibit allows each artist to share a unique perspective and help broaden the range of our ever-expanding narrative that is American history. For Another View, I'm Lisa Godley.